And so, welcome back, everybody. We are back, and the hockey fan here, Montreal Canadiens fan, the Habs fan. Uh, so I know my playoff coverage has been a little bit smooth. I know that. Next year I will do better for sure on it, but for now, I have stuck to a plan. What I'm going to do is conference finals and the finals, obviously. For the conference finals, this is how it's going to work. This is just an update. Every 2 games, I will review the series. So since game 2 of this series is done, I review the first two games. This will happen until game 5. So let's say this series goes to game 5. After game 5 is done, there will be a review on game 5. But that's how it's gonna go. Just to start, and as for the finals, we review every game of the finals no matter what. So, with that all in mind, we kick things off with the Washington Capitals, first seed of the Metropolitan Division versus the first seed Tampa Bay Lightning in the Atlantic Division. By the time I'm filming this, it's Coach's Corner, Jets, Vegas. Vegas up 2-0, just in case if anyone's wondering. By the time I'm uploading it, it's like 10:30 by the time I upload this. So, we live in an altered universe, folks, because this is years where anything could happen, because Eagles win the Super Bowl, they end our drought. Oh my god. The Houston Astros won the World Series. I mean, it might not be a shocker, but I was shocked. And then guess what else? The Capitals advanced to the third round for the first time in 20 to 24 years. It's been that long, folks. And going to this series, I think a lot of people, and I know for a fact a lot of people, from where I am, from where I'm from, in Canada, when I go to school and I hear a lot of people talking about, like, there's a lot of hockey fans, and a lot of people are saying Tampa has an easy ride to the finals. Tampa's going to destroy Washington. Washington, yeah, you may beat Pittsburgh, but have fun with Tampa Bay. I don't think anyone was expecting this. The Washington Capitals lead the series 2-0, going home for game 3 and 4. So, it's strange. I'm surprised. So, let's start off with game 1. First period, Kempny scores his first of the playoffs from Carlson and Kuznetsov, 1-0 Capitals. Later on in the first, Ovechkin scores his 9th of the playoffs from Kuznetsov and Oshie, so it's 2-0 Caps at the end of the first. I'm sitting there. When I watched every game of the playoff conference finals so far, and I was sitting there like, what the hell? 2-0 Caps? Come on, Bulls. Bulls weren't playing at all. Second period, Beagle scores his second from Connolly and Orlov. Eller scores his 4th from Oshie and Ovechkin. 4-0 Capitals. At this point, I was like, oh my god. At the same time, I'm not surprised, because you take a look back at game 1 against Tampa and Boston. Boston won 6-2. So I was sitting there, I'm like, this kind of looks familiar to game 1 of the last series for Tampa. And they came back and won 4 straight. So honestly, Washington's sitting pretty good. But then, third period, finally Tampa strikes. The first 2 periods, I think they only shot 10 shots on net. It was like, what the hell is going on? But Tampa finally got something on net, and they scored. Stamkos gets his 4th of the playoffs from Kucherov and Hedman. Then Palat gets his 5th from Johnson and Strawman. But that is it. Washington won game 1 4-2. I was not surprised in a way, because, what happened with last round in Tampa, having all that time off since Sunday, I believe it was. And when this series started, I believe it was Saturday. No, Friday? Okay, we're Monday tonight. Yeah, it was Friday night. And I was like, it's been 5 days, Tampa could be like this again. I was not surprised. But the way they played in the first 2 periods is what I was really surprised. In the game 1 of the last series, they were there, but they didn't score a lot. Rask was really there. So, I was a little bit shocked at how they played, but Washington wins 4-2. They're up 1-0. And at that point, so power play, Tampa Bay went 1 for 3 on the power play and 2 for 4 on the penalty kill. Washington went 2 for 4 on the power play and 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. These two teams have probably the best 2 power plays in the league at right now. I think the only other team is probably the Jets. I don't know what order. I think the Caps, we're coming into the series with the best power play. 15 goals on the power play. I think Caps were leading. Tampa was at 12 or 11. I don't know if the Jets were in between or above the Caps or below the Lightning. But it's threatening. And I was thinking of this as well with the Capitals and the Penguins series. I thought for the Pens and Flyers series, I was thinking Flyers, you gotta stay out of the box. The Penguins have the best power play. I was thinking the same thing with the Caps. They got the best power play in the league, and I was thinking that when they played Columbus. I picked Columbus in that series too. What happens? Washington won. But I was also saying Columbus had to stay out of the box. Their penalty kill was horrible. Their power play was even worse. But, lucky for enough. No. Shots on goal. Washington led 32 to Tampa Bay's 21. Holtby made 19 saves on 21 shots with a save percentage of .905. Vasilevsky made 21 saves on 25 shots, making a save percentage of .840. Man, I mean, I kind of felt like this was going to happen to Tampa at some point. Vasilevsky was going to get too tired. Without a doubt, he's having an amazing season and an amazing run in the playoffs at points. But at the same time, it's like, you think he's going to have to come back down to earth. He might run out of gas the way he's been playing. And I'm not surprised to see this. He played an excellent season. But in my opinion, Vezina Trophy winner. He played a great season. And I think at this point, he's out of breath. And to play a Capitals offense, that's pretty good. It's going to be tough. Dominique even went in the net. I didn't watch the third period. I don't even know if that was the third period. I was surprised he even went in. He made 7-7. He had a perfect save percentage. Caps won game 2. Tampa did not show up at all. They scored 2, but they just weren't there. You could tell how they were playing. They just really was not there. Caps won game 1, so I'm like, okay. I'm not surprised. I can't see the Caps winning 2 straight over Tampa. So I was thinking Tampa for game 2, something like a 3-2 game. Game 2. 28 seconds in. Wilson scores his third of the playoffs from Kuznetsov and Niskanen. I thought it was Niskanen's goal, or Niskanen and Kuznetsov. I thought it was Niskanen's goal, but it turned out it was a tip-in. I watched that game, it was last night, and I was like, oh my God, Wilson, good job. And I think that's what the Caps needed. I was thinking Tampa was going to win, but if the Caps had a chance to win, they had to get on the board first and shut up those Tampa Bay Lightning fans and get on the board first. Make the building go silent. However, Brendan Point scores his 5th of the playoffs from Stamkos and Hedman. That was on the power play. Tampa ties it up. And what we were saying, Tampa's power play is very deadly. Same with Washington. And you don't want to take those penalties. And that's going to hurt you. That's going to hurt for both teams in this series. So, tie game, just like that. However, Stamkos also scores his 5th from Kucherov and Point on the power play. The penalty, and there was a lot of people who talked about the penalty since then. The Phantom High Stick is what they're calling it. What I'm reading about it, it was a bad call for sure. I mean, he did not even touch him in the face or anything. But the refs thought they saw it, and they made the call, and then they saw the replay, and it was too late to make the change. And so, as it ends up being a goal, which shouldn't have... Tampa could have scored anyway without the power play. They might have not scored. The point is, even though it was a bad call, it was a bad power play, it shouldn't even happen, but the point is, it wasn't like the game-deciding goal. It wasn't like there was a tying goal for Tampa and then they scored another one to win the game type of thing. It wasn't like an overtime, Tampa scored that penalty, got them a goal to win the game, or in the third period to win the game. It wasn't the game-deciding goal, so I'm not as big on it. They need to fix it, of course, but I'm not a big like, oh my god. Right. All I am saying is the fact is, if that was like the game winner, or if that was the game tire, I would have been pissed. If it was the game tire but the Caps won, I would have been like, okay, the Caps won, but still, you need to fix that. If it was the game winning, I would have been like, oh, that's crap. That should not be a goal in the first place. It happens. Bad calls happen every now and then, right? So, it was a bad call, but in the end, it doesn't really matter because the Capitals won. So it's going to the first 2-1 for Tampa. They're riding high. But in the second period, Washington strikes .250 and Devontae Smith-Pelly gets his third from Chasson and Carlson. It was a 2-on-1. Saucer pass from Chasson. Boom, in 2-2. Nice goal. Nice play by Washington. I believe it was JT Miller who gave out the puck. Or not gave it up, but kind of set it up. Even though he's on Tampa. Not a good play. So, 250 in, but we didn't get anything till 1:02 left in the game. Second period, Lars Eller from Verona. He gets his 5th of the playoffs, and he's feeling very well for Backstrom so far. Backstrom, he got injured in game 5, but I didn't track everything else so far in the series. I tracked what he did, and he's doing good. Eller gets his 5th from Verona. That was essentially the game winner for the Caps. That made it 3-2. And at that point, I'm like, oh, Tampa. I'm rooting for the Caps. But I feel for Tampa. I'm like, you were up 2 tie game, a minute left. That has to hurt. But this hurts even more because Kuznetsov gets his 8th of the playoffs from Ovechkin and Eller. Vasilevsky, I watched it, and he should have had that. I don't know if there was a deflection off from a Tampa player or off his own stick. He should have had that. He was on a sharp angle at the end of the boards by the red line on the net. At the boards, he should have had that. And I was like, with 2 seconds left. It's a good goal. 4-2 Caps. Just when the game was tied. Game was tied just a minute ago. Just like a minute and 2 seconds ago. The game was tied. And Caps scored twice. That hurt the Lightning there. Third period, Ovechkin gets his 10th from Kuznetsov and Wilson. Again, I don't blame Vasilevsky for the Wilson goal, for the Smith-Pelly goal, or the Ovechkin goal. I don't blame him at all for those 3. The other 3, he should have maybe had, but the other 3, I don't blame him. Wilson, that was a tip-in, okay, you always get those. Devontae Smith-Pelly, that was a 2-on-1, it's okay, and then the 2-on-1 by Ovi. I mean, Ovechkin has a great shot, and it was a great goal, and I mean, it's hard to stop him, and I don't blame him there either. Connolly gets his 3rd from Eller and Carlson. Eller had 3 points tonight. I think he should have been the first star. I think he was. The game winner plus 2 assists. Washington has 37 shots. The Tampa Bay's 35. Tampa did show up. They had 14 extra shots, but so did Washington. Power play. Tampa went 2 for 4 on the power play and 2 for 3 on the penalty kill, so they did pretty good on those sides. Washington went 1 for 3 on the power play and 2 for 4 on the penalty kill. So after those 2 power play goals early by Tampa, they didn't allow anything else. Great recovery. Holtby made 33 saves on 35 shots with a .943 save percentage. As for Vasilevsky, 31 saves on 37 shots with a .838 save percentage. I don't know if it's just no confidence, tired out. I don't know what to say. Vasilevsky, I mean, you combine everything so far, he's not having a good run right now against the Caps. I don't know if it's just a strength, a bad luck, if he's just having a couple bad games. Is he going to pick it up in game 3? He has to pick it up. Tampa, same thing with Tampa. They got to try to pick it up. Offensively, they got to try to pick it up. Defensively, they got to make more defensive plays. They can't just leave Vasilevsky hanging out like that. So, Caps win the 2 first games. I'm shocked in a way, and I'm glad in a way. I'm shocked to see that the Capitals are up 2-0. I thought the series was either going to be 2-0 Tampa or at least tied. But the Caps are up 2-0. And the big thing about that is, scary thing for Tampa fans, you may think it's just Washington. You think, oh, it's just okay. We'll come back in game 3. You kind of have to. Game 3 is really important. It's tomorrow night. It's a big game. It's bigger than you think because think of this. Washington wins game 3. They have 4 straight games to try to take you out. You got game 4, game 5, game 6, game 7. You gotta have to win. If you win tomorrow night, you loosen their confidence a little bit. You're 2-1. You're closer. Because, let's be honest, I'd rather be down 2-1 than down. Anyone would rather be down 2-1 than 3-0. I'd rather win 3 of the last 4 games than have to win 4 for 4. Game 3 is really big. Washington, both teams kind of need it. Tampa also needs it for better reasons. In a way, they need to do it, need to win in order to kind of stay alive. For Washington, they just need to have a stranglehold. Shots on goal for each. Tampa has shot 56 times so far this series. Washington 69 times. Power play and penalty kill each 3 for 7 and 4 for 7. So power play is getting up there. Penalty kill is a little bit down, but power play is really showing. Washington obviously 10 goals in 2 games. Washington is scoring like crazy. I don't know if it's just me or not, but I think these playoffs it's been a while since we've seen this type of playoffs. I don't know if it's just you guys. A lot of games have been high scoring. The last series that's been really low scoring, if I could really think of it, was the Kings Vegas series. A lot of series have been really high scoring. There's been like blowout games, like what was it? 8-1 for San Jose against Anaheim in round 1. A 7-goal game by Vegas, I believe, in round 2. 6-goal game by Boston in round 2. You know, a 7-goal game in a game 7 by Boston in round 1. 8 Pittsburgh Phillies scoring like crazy. Like, straight out, I think this has been the first time in a long time since I've seen a playoffs that was based a lot on scoring. Goals have been scored like hell. In my opinion, the Conn Smythe winner is definitely going to be a player. I don't know about the goalies. I mean, they're playing good, but there's been like a lot of games like it's been crazy. So I don't know about that. Washington, this is a big thing. On the road, Washington is now 7-1. They lost their last road game, game 4 against Pittsburgh. They have won 3 straight road games. They're impressing. They really are. I mean, I thought they were either going to split these 2 first or they're going to be down 0-2. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay at home, 5-3 now. They were 5-1, 5-3. Washington's really strong on the road, and that's why I say Tampa has to win game 3. Washington wins game 3, they're up 3-0. Sure, you win game 4, but then Washington goes back to game 5. Yes, you just won, but they're 7-1 at home on the road. They're going to be blown up. And even if they win game 4, you know, if they lose game 3 and they win game 4. Okay, yeah, actually it's the same. What am I saying? Either way. But I think for me, game 3 has to be. Because then if you lose game 3, Washington can just have to win at least has a 4 times chances to beat you. And for Tampa, you have to win 4 for 4. You have to go 4 straight. And I don't know if Tampa can win 4 straight just like that over Tampa. I don't know if Tampa can win 4 for 5 against the Caps. I straight up don't think they can. That's what scares me. And this thing about this is also, in this entire playoffs, I don't think a team that was down a game or 2 has been able to pull out the win in this series. I don't count 1-0s, 3-2s, or 2-0s. The only team, I did this before, the only team that has been able to come back from a 2-0 deficit in these playoffs so far has been Washington in round 1. They won 4 straight, they win the series. Tampa could obviously do that. I think Tampa honestly is probably the only team, well, maybe the Jets. I think Tampa's the only real team I could see winning, coming back from like a 3-0, 2-0 series at this point. Sorry about that. So, at home, Washington's 3 for 3. That kind of has me iffy. Maybe that's where Tampa will strike because Washington's not the best at home. That does get me on Washington. Tampa is actually 3 for 1. So, Tampa has to strike. And eventually the monster will be unleashed from Tampa. Goals. Stamkos for Tampa Bay. Stamkos with 2, Palat, and Point with each 1. Tampa hasn't been scoring. Points. Stamkos 3, Kucherov 2, Hedman 2, Point 2, Palat 1, Johnson 1, Strawman 1. For Washington, it's big. Goals. Ovechkin 2, Eller 2, Kempe 1, Beagle 1, Wilson 1, Kuznetsov 1, Smith-Pelly 1, and Connolly 1. Points. Kuznetsov, 5 points in 2 games. Kuznetsov is amazing. I really like the young kid, and I hope he has a good career. Ovechkin 4, Eller 4. He took the place of Backstrom, and look what he's doing. 4 points in 2 games in this series over Tampa. Without Backstrom, Washington's 3 for 0. Not saying that they would lose with Backstrom, but Eller's playing good. Carlson 3, Oshie 2, Wilson 2, Connolly 2, Verano 1, Chisholm 1, Niskanen 1, Beagle 1, Smith-Pelly 1. Hopi, 52 saves on 56 shots. Not bad. Only allowed 4 goals in 2 games. Not bad. Vasilevsky, 52 saves on 62 shots. I don't know what to say. I'm really surprised how Tampa's playing and how Washington's taking advantage. Game 3 is tonight, or tomorrow night. I don't know when this. I'm saying tonight because this might only come out like Wednesday morning, possibly. But Game 3 is big. Washington wins, they have a stranglehold. They have 4 chances to move on to the finals. Tampa wins Game 3. They still have to win 3 for 4, but they have some light. Game 3 is going to be big. If my prediction says I think Tampa wins Game 3, in my opinion, I just can't see them losing again. I said that after Game 1. I can't see them losing 2 in a row. I can't see them losing 3 in a row. So there you have it. Washington Tampa Bay series in a recap situation. The Caps up 2-0. Game 3's tomorrow night, which is Tuesday, and it's Thursday night. So a recap should be coming out again around Thursday night to early Friday morning. Thank you guys for watching this. Please, if you liked it, please, if you did like it, you don't have to like it, subscribe, and comment on what you guys think of this series. Are you shocked, surprised at all? I'll see you all dudes in the next one.